Yo, what is good, everybody? My name is the Coaster King, and today I'm doing the next installment of Overrated Underrated Fair, talking about 3 wooden coasters: Boulder Dash, Voyage, and Swamp Fox. If you guys didn't know, this series I label one of these 3 coasters as overrated, one as underrated, and one as fair. So without further ado, let's just get right into the video. Coming with the fair spot, I don't think this is going to be too much of a surprise to too many people. It's just going to be the Voyage. So, in just about anybody's list, some people might have it a little higher than others, some people might have it a little lower. This coaster is going to be an elite coaster, in the wooden class at least. You know, a top 3 to 4 wooden coaster in anybody's lists. And I think that is, that's about as highly rated as it's going to get, so I can't consider it underrated. But so I would consider that to be fairly rated. I think that this coaster, in my opinion, is the best one coaster in the world. But in anybody's opinion, it's in that elite tier at the top 3 or 4. So in no way can it be seen as underrated. But still, it's one of the best one coasters in the world. So that's why I consider it to be fairly rated here. The airtime is just awesome. That's just one thing that you're gonna notice on this ride. The layout is definitely interesting, with like an out and back, a little twist, and it definitely has the length factor. So this ride is extremely long, and I gotta unfortunately commentate on the entire thing, and I'll probably stop commentating on it a little bit later. But this ride is so long that it almost gets boring after a while. But the airtime throughout the ride is still insane. So you get some great laterals, and it's just overall an amazing ride. And the ride, one thing you notice in this POV here is it really doesn't lose its pacing. Obviously with the mid-course here. Yeah, but if you ride some other rides, you lose the pacing real quick. But this one, other than that mid-course, you go flying. Like right now, you're flying through this layout, and that's something I really liked about the Voyage. I really think it makes it what it is, to be honest. And obviously the length of the ride, the sheer length, we're already like a minute and a half into this ride. I really don't have too much more to say about it. Obviously airtime's great, and I do think it is an elite roller coaster. I am going to let the rest of the POV play out, because why not? It's just unbelievably long, this ride. So I guess while we're here, we're waiting for this POV to end, which is ridiculous. You'll get into 50 subscribers, so yeah, do that. Guess it ended. So overrated, we're gonna have Boulder Dash at Lake Compounce in Connecticut. So this ride, if you look at the Golden Ticket Awards, I don't know if you guys follow those. A lot of people don't really consider that to be real rankings, but if you look at them, this ride is often up there with El Toro, the Voyage, and the top, and Phoenix sometimes too. I think this one actually won it a few years back, maybe 2018, I'm not too sure. One of the years recently they did definitely win it. That might be the home field advantage, because I think Lake Compounce hosted the event this year, or that year, so maybe he was a little biased, but still. I just don't think this is better than El Toro or the Voyage or Phoenix, to be honest. This ride is a pretty cool ride. I love how it uses the terrain. It is a little rough, can't lie about that, no one can argue that. It's definitely a little bit rough at some points, and has not the best forces in the world, and in comparison to like a Voyage or El Toro, it doesn't meet that standard. Obviously it's a great ride, fun ride, an above average ride, obviously the best ride in the park, but just in my opinion does not meet that standard of El Toro and the Voyage, as the Golden Ticket Awards almost like to say. But one thing I really do like about the ride is how it uses the terrain. There's this feeling of going through the forest and you don't see anything else around you. Is really, really cool. I think no other coaster really matches that idea right there, and I think that's something that is super unique to the ride and makes it what it is. But I just don't consider it to be, as an enthusiast, more up there with El Toro or the Voyage. So I don't think it deserves to be in that elite tier of wooden coasters that I just mentioned before with the Voyage. So that's why I really have it here as overrated. Yeah. And underrated is Swamp Fox. If you guys are thinking like right now, like, what is this ride? I've never heard of it before. That kind of proves my point. It's located in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and it was made by Philadelphia Toboggan Company in 1966. So it's an older ride, but it definitely deserves more attention in the enthusiast industry than it gets. It has good airtime. It is known for having these buzz bars. I'm sure a lot of enthusiasts are familiar with that concept. Buzz bars allow for a lot of room and give you some good airtime. And yes, this ride obviously has those. And this ride is just has a lot of airtime for a 1966 coaster. I think it definitely deserves more hype in the industry. Like, literally no one talks about this ride. You don't see it on the Golden Ticket Awards. You don't see it on anybody's top 100 rankings. Like, it's just never talked about, and I think it definitely deserves to be at least mentioned. This hill, you barely make it up, so you don't get any airtime. But after that, these hills, you really get some airtime, man. Obviously, it's a rougher ride. Once again, 1966, but airtime, it's pretty good for a 1966 coaster. I don't think it's an elite coaster. I don't even think it's above average coaster. I just think it should be getting more attention than it gets in the industry, and should be looked at as like a good ride. It really doesn't get seen that way, if I'm being honest. That's it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think about this video. Maybe like the Boulder, your opinions on Boulder Dash, stuff like that. So also let me know ideas for 5-year plans, stuff like that. I'll definitely touch on those and get me to 50 subs. I'd never beg for subscribers, but do that. I'll see you guys next time.